With example 4, we are given that Terry and Dave are traveling on the same road to Thanksgiving dinner at their grandmother's. Terry starts out at 300 miles from the dinner and drives 65 miles per hour. Dave starts out at 250 miles from the dinner and drives 60 miles per hour. We're asked to write equations for both of these in which y equals the distance from the destination and x equals the hours traveled. So we'll start with Terry. So distance from destination equals that initial value of 300 miles from the destination minus 65 miles per hour times x hours. With Dave, similarly, y equals the initial value of 250 miles from the dinner minus 60 miles per hour times the number of hours x that Dave has driven. We could solve the second part of this in a couple ways. We're asked, will Terry and Dave's trips overlap before they reach the dinner? In other words, is there at any point on the road that Terry catches up to Dave, since Terry is starting further away than what Dave is? We could graph them to see if they intersect. An easy way is to, let's just set them equal. They both equal y, the distance from the destination, from the dinner. So we'll go ahead and just write out 300 minus 65x equals 250 minus 60x. We'll go ahead and add to both sides plus 60x plus 60x. That equals negative 5x. Then subtract 300 from both sides. So minus 300 equals negative 50. Divide both sides by negative 5. We get x equals 10. But if you'll notice, that's an impossibility on their actual trip because we're looking at the distance from the destination. So y can never be less than 0. But if we substitute x equals 10, we get 300 minus 65 times 10, which equals 300 minus 650, which equals negative 350. And similarly, with Dave's trip, 250 minus 60 times 10. So this is hours, which equals 250 minus 600, which equals negative 350. But they can't be negative 350 miles from the destination because they will have traveled past Grandma's house. So no, the point of intersection of the equations is 350 miles past the destination. So again, we were asked to write equations for both Terry's trip, with y being the distance from Grandma's Thanksgiving dinner, and Dave's trip. And then we determined that their point of intersection, the equations do intersect, the lines do intersect, but it's well past Grandma's house. So if they end up meeting each other, they drove way too far.